folks feel that they have a niche, then they feel that I'll call in to help support those students.
Could there be a reassignment of a learning support teacher elsewhere in the district to become the autistic support teacher?
So if we look at any reassignment, we have to look at what needs all of our students have and how we're meeting those specific needs. So any student that has a learning support or an IEP has specifically designed instruction in their IEP. So we need to make sure that all of those students receive that. So our current design and structure accounts for all of those SDIs so that every single student that's special education receives the instruction that is written in that IEP, which is binding for them. So a reassignment would mean we may not have the resources to be able to meet all of those SDIs if we reassign. So right now, our learning support teachers are spread about as thin as they can be.
We also reassigned when we added the intensive learning support, reassigned when we added emotional support. So there's no more room to reassign.
And I would say those are all formerly LIU classes that districts are taking back because the LIU is not supporting them.
So,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
So what are the three, so are the different classrooms of those three teachers that do supplemental are in the elementary school? There's three that do supplemental.
Yes,
three that
one
are
teacher has K-2, she has 10 students. Another teacher has 3 to 5, she's about 10. And the other teacher has K-5, she's about 8 right now.
But that's based on need.
Right.
Correct.
So that,
So you can't intermix the
Grade
strength of
levels
those
and-
classrooms.
So whether the need or different ones like emotional support.
Right.
Yeah, like so emotional support, intensive learning support,
regular learning support.
regular learning support, who's your third, supplemental? Emotional support.
There's 2 intensive learning support.
Two
Because one's
intensive.
K-2 and one's K-5.
And I kind of, this is at the same thing.
No. So those there's 1, 2, 3 itinerant learning support teachers who work with students K through 5. So one teacher works with kindergarten first grade, one with second and third, and one with the fourth and fifth. So they work with that group of students.
And they just go out into the classroom for the most
Sure.
part?
It's both. It depends on the day and the need. They work in the classroom with the students at small group tables, teaching them. Like they're just not in the classroom as another teacher. They're in there working with the students on skills. And then they'll pull them out into the room to work on very direct skills, progress monitoring, reading, math, writing, they work on. So a student might have an extra, they need 45 minutes of extra reading, 45 minutes of extra writing, and another 40 minutes of math on top of that.
They would also support testing accommodations to make sure that whatever's listed in the IEP as a testing accommodation is provided for that student so the student can meet the IEP goals that are listed there. They're also going to make sure that they're instructing the teacher on what instructional strategies can be used and can't be used so that they're following the IEP. That IEP is a required document for those students, so we must meet that IEP goal. So those teachers that are itinerant teachers often have 20 to 25 or more students that they support within the classroom. That also means that they need to be on top of the regular ed teachers' lesson plans, what they're doing during that day. They need to receive the test ahead of time so they can do these things. They need to carve out time for students for extra support. So they note learning support requires a special person. It truly does. It requires somebody who is not afraid to do paperwork, who is not afraid to meet students' needs, and not afraid to advocate for what that student needs within a regular ed classroom or a learning support classroom. They work extremely hard. All teachers do. But I will say, the amount of work that a learning sport teacher does is mountainous. I've got an educator here that's shaking his head because he sees it.
I would not switch in a day. I think I have a lot of work. I do not, in comparison, have much work. The paperwork is awful. I left the people to do everything. It's really awful. But you should tell them what can happen to a district that does not meet
Oh, no,
legal
we know we have,
responsibility.
we know we have to
All
meet
right,
that.
I just want you to understand that too.
We know we have to meet
So
those
we have-
responsibilities. I
so-
mean, we have to educate these children wherever they are, there's no question.
We have to meet those SDIs as outlined in the IEP, and that requires us to be very judicious in how that's done and what assignment. So Dr. Piastri has a very, very tough and challenging task when she works with Dr. Berryman and the building principals to say what learning sport teachers are doing, how they're meeting this, the goals and the SDIs that are in those IEPs.
Well, everybody agrees we have to do it. We have to do it, and we want to do it.
Yeah.
So we don't have the option, we have to bring it in-house, so let's talk about it. You say we have to raise taxes. But, so the 275 is actually 235, because you've already got 40,000 in the budget. So we know that,
Mhm.
it's really 235. And, historically, we do have a surplus, but I guess we will talk about that till all is done. Now, I talked to Mayberry, they do about 16 to 20 houses a year. At least 6,000 a house if you start at the basic. Is that in the budget? Any revenue coming in from Mayberry in the budget for the new
So-
houses every year?
So what we do within the budget is I get a record from the county that says, here's our tax base for the year. We include all those tax base in there at a 96% collection rate. We also try to capture all the interim tax bills as an estimation. So they're in there as an estimated interim. If they're on the tax bills from that capture of the tax base, then yes. So sometimes we miss the mark of those interims because we get more, we get less. We don't know how many houses are going to change hands, essentially.
So next year's houses aren't built yet. So,
Correct. So we try to estimate how much money we will get as interim tax bills. It's a guess. I don't know how many houses will be built or change
how
hands.
much did you guess for next year?
Without pulling it up, I don't know.
Well, what's historical?
Transfer tax, I know is 425. The interim is more of a caveat, which I probably have. So, yeah.
I would not be working.
It is around,
It's not fantasy.
It is,
It's
especially with
especially
an economy that's going.
No, I'm
in the opposite
asking,
direction.
is it in there? That's all I'm asking.
Oh,
I
I
didn't
thought
say
you
put it in
meant
there.
mentioned, okay.
I didn't say put it in there, I'm
What's the
asking,
answer?
what's in
Okay,
there?
okay.
so it is,
I misunderstood what you were
yep,
going after.
so interims is around, around $100,000.
And that's for Mayberry.
No, that's for all districts.
Oh,
Yes. So anybody who would purchase a house, regardless if it's new or old, that would get a transfer tax, and then they would get an interim tax for whatever's prorated for the rest of the year from July 1 until the remainder of the year what they have to owe. And get that in. I don't know how many that's going to be. I never know how many houses are going to be sold or transferred. It's always a guess.
So the more people that we have move into Littlestown, the better it is for us to see real estate tax and revenue.
So I use like always, I use a 3-year historical average and estimate how much we could see, because we kind of have a baseline, essentially around that $100,000 mark. The transfer tax, since we don't know how many properties will transfer between owners, the best guess about historically where we have it.
I think what you were saying, Mrs. Buren, without saying it, was we could count on some of that revenue coming in to help offset.
Well, I wanted to know, have you estimated any potential revenue? They know their build schedule for next year, they have to.
they don't know how many,
Exactly, I understand that.
the caveat is they don't know how many will sell. So they have them, they have the lots available, whether they sell or not, it's up to how much may vary the market.
Usually they sell it and then they build it. So you know those figures.
But we don't know 20 homes will be sold. They are estimating to build 20 homes based on having 20 purchase homes. The 18, they're only building 18. Like I don't put in extra 20 homes saying that they're gonna do 20 homes a year.
I had a specific question for the administrators involving the specific staff members.
So if it's personnel, we would need to take an executive session to discuss personnel.
Yeah. We're gonna take a executive session.
For the purposes of personnel for.
Yes, stop.
They need to say that.
My point. Get my point.
But they have $600,000 for buses that they're not gonna buy, so.
What is the point from the taxes?
But how are you going to want to shortchange special education? I'll be like, oh no, I need baseball and softball fields.
This is very difficult, Suzanne. But they
I don't
require,
have a special education. Yes.
Suzanne, back up.
Baseball and softball fields. I
It
have
requires a ball. It's important. It's a ball.
And it's not just him, my graduated, she said, didn't support the high school. You know, I've been around with projects, but see, it was state.
Yeah, it was the blind server
What?
boy. Anyway, so what is the are they doing then? So they're not doing like set classes or anything, or they just come in and help?
No, she said she didn't support the high school, but supported
There
the,
are some classes that
but supported
request
the, state
we
aid.
would not take on because of the honey.
And then the
Sure.
high school said, if you want the kids to
Okay.
be taught in a cardboard box.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
who
is
wants
that
the
what
street,
it is?
the high school taught.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So who wants to be taught that?
Or they did.
One more box.
There are a lot. Oh, they have a lot. Not, I don't understand. Or really, my husband's just, he teaches from production. And he's actually, they come in and set them up with full screens, that kids who can't, like,
Just like we should have.
I mean, that
Question,
experience
answer,
is insane.
town
Same size
halls.
as me, they've actually have put them,
How
not
that
done this
happens,
high school, right over their expectations.
And
of the
some,
others.
It's all lies.
Okay.
And then they get on Littlestown and surrounding neighborhoods, Littlestown neighborhoods and surrounding areas, and they lie, and then they block me from commenting. That's how they work. Which, by the way,
But for what? What, did you violate any rules?
no, no. But here's what I did with William Pugh a couple weeks ago. I said, literally, I said, you need to stop blocking people, meaning.
Yeah, they're really good at
And so everyone says, yeah, that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
I actually not, but we check things. No, you block me.
Yeah.
Because he was complaining that there's too many businesses.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
So it's because
So
they
they
block
do all those
everybody.
things,
Yeah.
but then the
We don't put real
mental
conversations on here. The only people that come on here is people that have business.
There's no people that
they
agree.
also have.
And so they blocked me, so June 3rd, how convenient.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but how can they block it? Did you violate any rules?
No, none at all.
The IU still has 1 year.
All I did
Yes.
was go on there.
Oh, okay, I got it.
That was it.
But I will be your comments, I don't see any harassment.
There wasn't none
Any
at all.
personal attacks.
Yes.
I didn't.
Oh, if you say something they disagree
Oh,
with,
okay,
then
got it.
I didn't.
So when I
I didn't
can't
say
support
anything.
them anymore, because I
Nothing at all, I'm telling you. I didn't.
we've done what we can,
Right.
but they need that counselor
You know I don't.
all the time, and I talk to the parents, and
yourself
I
as
know
usual, she has
people
someone
aren't
else
listening.
speaking for her.
Right, right.
They came in before you.
Did that, go back again?
Yes, that's me. That's not an
Are
idea.
you
Doing
getting
it wrong.
hit with the cuts they're doing against the bill with the Uvalde, that came out of the Uvalde, where there was mental health support programs and stuff like that?
I'll wait for some more comments.
I didn't, there was, I heard some schools with that because there was funding specific.
They won't let me
mental health.
start conversations, I will let someone else start conversations.
Yeah.
So if
I just
here.
didn't know if any
Well,
of that
that
was
goes
still.
down.
around the
More and more and more.
Oh, okay, you're saying,
Period.
so it's like little.
That's what it
yes,
says.
class specific.
All you gotta do
This
is say
person
no
for
wrestler and they
there's
block.
one person.
That's it. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything for it.
Who is.
Because somebody hooked up with her is
Oh,
doing
okay.
it.
It's a little bit less.
And it's
next
on
year
every
will be a
site,
little
it's
bit
on
more.
Learn, it's on neighborhoods, it's on Watchdogs, it's on Littlestown, whatever.
Oh, and I was never a moderator on
For some school, it's like, oh, I have to look at this.
But you still
This-
have
we
to
haven't, I
start.
didn't have that.
Yeah.
Without even
But-
checking. I didn't say you were a moderator.
Yeah, okay.
No, I never said you were.
I thought you did, because I thought at one thing you said it sounded like I was an administrator, which I never was. I was
No.
a moderator
No.
on Watchdogs, not.
Well, I know, but I knew you were able to post without pre-approval, and then they made it back the other way again.
Oh, that was surrounding areas, that
Well,
was.
That's where I was
you say
looking.
you don't know the numbers.
It's around here.
And.
That's what I meant.
Now,
No, guess
you on the
what?
golf course.
My, none of my kids, that one, there was diagnosed with disruptive.
Okay, so you-
No. Oh,
Can your post go up right away?
And.
not on Watchdogs.
But what about post
Or-
on neighborhood surrounding
My
area?
daughter has mixed
The
Okay.
only one I could post without their approval was all about Littlestown.
privately tested. One
And I can't get on
second.
there, one second. Even when I tried to get on there, they blocked
She
me.
starts high school, and I just looked
They
at
really
her.
blocked me.
He's right. Thing that.
Because
yes,
all about
he did
Littlestown
prepare his
is,
Jared. And from, you know.
Is, oh, I know who
Lyme
it is.
tissue, steroid.
Yeah.
You know, we just, it's close.
Okay, that's what I-
Kindergarten year. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. So, but Garrett's now, he's getting a physics degree over at Westchester, and he's specializing in master business. And, you know, but because he got what he needed, he got those supports and stuff. And, yeah. I mean, I just, I don't know, it's intensive learning. Oh, sure. And some of those classes. Right. This, the spectrum's so wide, what it can be.
I did my son one.
My former colleague had a daughter, they were charged by spectrum, and she was much better. I mean, I just didn't know whether they started with extreme coding intervention at age 2, and they don't know if it's that she has much. I can remember it's something to do with processing emotional discussions and stuff. So she's getting a little extra help, but she's progressed a lot. But, you know, we have other friends, but mostly like that high functioning something where they're able to be probably more than those people. Is it itinerant? Is that what you said?
That's the least amount of support.
Where you just get a little support, yeah. But it is, the spectrum is enormous. I mean, everything that fits on it, so. Oh, well, and that's, when you said that these restrict, they're rather than, I mean, I've heard that in a lot of things and stuff, because you want to get them. And even I was another section, so I'm just telling about, the way to do the game program. And I was like, oh, that's so great, because it doesn't take away from the great stuff. You know, it lets them get what they need, but other kids are just like, it's not like I'm like something or some. Yeah. So, but that's, yeah. I can't compare. Yeah. I do. It's not a normal normal. But I have normal one. They're normal. Yeah, it's not that good.
And so that makes, and not that that's a problem, I'm not saying it's a problem, but what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, that's,
Then you say it's you,
yeah.
but your only relative said that. She's extreme, I said, no, she's fine. Good, I said,
Hopefully she's joking, but I don't think.
no, they see what they see, what they hear, they don't. They literally don't know, you know why, because they don't ask you. They ask them.
That's what's so dangerous about me, is that I don't care. They think that it hurts my feelings. They think it hurts my feelings. Nobody wants to. And if this isn't grade school, you think I'd give a call? But anybody thinks,
I know you're saying that.
don't care.
They're not paying the bills. Why don't
They're
they?
not?
No, I don't pay my bills.
What, you mean, working for
So
the security?
scary.
Wait, don't be messing around, I'm Mr. Jones. You used to- I
Yeah.
told you we for that, but I told him I should be asked, I'm Mr. Couldn't be you.
Yeah.
God, she's
Now you're gonna come after my kids, I'm like, you are out of mind. That's my conflict of going to you. I'm like, look, your kid and my kid play soccer together, and they're coming after my child. This needs to stop, and you knock it off. A big profile. I knocked off, and I'm like, you're not gonna come after a minor, come on, don't harass minors.
I love how he admitted that they censor everybody. Because he made my point when I said it. He says, no, we don't. We just censor. And that guy came on and says, yeah, you just admitted it. He said, actually, he said to Dwayne, you just made your point.
You know,
Then he come back and said, well, shouldn't we censor everybody? I'm like, no, we shouldn't. Unless it gets very, very